let us bring in our football guest, who apparently has his own unauthorized intro music that he didn't actually clear with the host, but whatever. It is what it is. From somewhere in Côte St. Luc, we welcome in a football guest on this station on many shows, including this morning on The Locker Room with Abe Hefter. TSN's very own Moe Khan 19 on Twitter, Moe Khan.
To answer your question, Matthew, it is a touchdown confirmed.
So it is a touchdown.
It is.
All right.
It is.
All right. Well,
a second point, actually. Day 7 and I, we had a little beef, or to use the proper expression, turkey with Stefan Machella. We were curious to know why him and I were not invited to the Machella compound for today's festivities.
That is interesting, isn't it? Yeah, he's just left actually to get to start to fill up with tryptophan. But the touchdown in question was no Sean Moreno 8-yard TD run, and Denver's now up by 11 on the Jacksonville Jaguars. All right, Mo, pick your poison. What did you like today so far?
St. Louis Rams. This morning, I spoke to Abe about that game, Houston, St. Louis. Who can step up and elevate their team to contention for a playoff spot here? Without a doubt, here, St. Louis looked like the better football team, dominating all three phases of the game. And without question now, the heat is on the Houston Texans as a whole here with Matt Schaub's injury, whether or not he'll be able to go for the following week, and also as a team as a whole. They've underachieved all season long. Remember, they came from behind twice in the first 2 weeks at San Diego, home to Tennessee. Not to say they would have been 0-6, but this team could have been very close to being 0-6 and a lot more pressure on this football team. So without a doubt here, the St. Louis Rams probably saved their season for now, whereas with the Houston Texans moving it forward here, it's the unknown. What do they do moving ahead here? Are they still a team within range of a playoff spot, or are they going to wilt and fold the season away?
Game points here on TSN 690, chatting with Moe Khan. A field goal for Seattle. They're up 13-10 right now. Meanwhile, New Orleans looks like they'll have a first down at the 14-yard line of New England with 7:35 remaining in the third quarter. Saints down by a touchdown. Mo, are you surprised at the result that we saw today in Minnesota, where they just got pasted by Carolina, and of course Adrian Peterson playing with a heavy heart?
It's funny because you look at the Carolina Panthers. Last week they played in Arizona. They could have won that football game and lost that in the last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter. Today's football game, they look like a better, well-oiled machine here. Remember, Minnesota is coming off a bye week where they played in London 2 weeks ago, but that should not have been an excuse for them. But in this football matchup here, no doubt, though, the Vikings right now have underachieved. They're not a good football team right now. They are young on the defensive side of football. On the offense, same thing here. They have not been able to figure out the quarterback position just yet. You wonder now, Josh Freeman, will he get the number 1 reps all throughout practice week for next Sunday's game here? Secondly, I know Adrian Peterson playing with a heavy heart here. They're going to box that guy in and put 8 guys in the box. At some point, that's going to definitely stop the run game here. So really for the Vikings moving ahead, they got to get their offense figured out ASAP. And also their defense, as young as it is, not right now, but maybe 2 years from now is when they'll be a dominant force again.
All right. We could tell you that the New Orleans Saints have 2nd and goal right now in New England. Mo, a slow start for Drew Brees and company here. They've actually mixed it up in the second half and put in a few extra runs, maybe more so than they normally do, to try and keep that New England defense honest, and it appears to be working now. I'm trying to remember, who did you have coming into this game?
I had the Saints coming into this football game. I just felt right now they're the better football team, even though New England right now statistically has dominated the Saints, in this first 3 quarters and change here.
There you go. Sorry to cut you off, Mo. Touchdown for the New Orleans Saints. So after the extra point, they will be tied with New England here in the third quarter. So you liked the Saints coming in here as the better team, even though Stephen Ridley is playing today. He was questionable and has 2 touchdowns.
Right, and the thing is, the reason why I picked the Saints is it was one factor. Rob Ryan, the DC of the Saints, what he has done to stymie Tom Brady the last couple of times when he was the DC in Cleveland, and of course in Dallas, he has been able to make things tough for him to figure out who's going to drop into what coverage and who's going to do what on a blitz coverage here. So really, Rob Ryan's been that X factor. I know the first half they got to Brady a few times here. Brady did connect with a couple of his receivers, but really in this second half here, I'm curious to see what Tom Brady does for the adjustment period. Will he be able to recognize the defensive schemes that Rob Ryan will throw at him in the second half, or will it be the same scenario as the first half? Because at some point, Drew Brees will break out, as we're seeing in the third quarter, where he will make his completions and he'll make his touchdown passes at some point.
All right, a very big turnover in Seattle where Ryan Fitzpatrick throws his second interception of the game, throwing it up, basically a Hail Mary style, just a jump ball for his wide receiver, and the DB for Seattle comes down with it at about his own 40-yard line. So Seahawks leading 13-10 right now, early stages still of the fourth quarter there. Meanwhile, in Denver today, Mo, 28-19. Jags have been pesky. They've hung around a little bit here, but Denver starting to pull away a little bit.
Not too bad for the Broncos, huh? Not too bad for the Broncos. But you know what? That first half was a sloppy effort by the Broncos. Paul Postlesky made a great play on that INT for a touchdown. The Broncos were not in sync, whereas in the third quarter now we're seeing a lot more in the style that we have seen the Broncos in the first 6 weeks, throwing that football, running the football effectively speaking here. But, Matt, the one question I have for the Broncos team moving forward is their defense. They continue to give up points, especially against an inferior Jaguar team that has not been able to produce points all season long. So really moving ahead here, and I know Von Miller comes back to practice this week, but moving ahead here, can the Broncos make a stop or two and really put a clamp on their group here to have a good defense to complement their offense?
I agree, and as we talk, Manning goes 3 and out here, so Jacksonville will get the ball back late stages of the third quarter, down by 11 points. It's a good question you raise. I don't know if we're able to answer that right now, but as you mentioned, Von Miller does come back, one of the top players in the NFL, maybe top 5 defensive players in the NFL in terms of the impact that he can make. Champ Bailey is back today, so whether or not you believe he's got anything left in the tank to offer, his experience is back on the field, so that helps them certainly. Elsewhere, Mo, in San Francisco, the Arizona Cardinals got off to a good start here, but the 49ers were able to come back with a vengeance in the second quarter, and they lead 22-14 right now. Same old story. We kind of make fun of it here in studio, but, Carson Palmer, always a couple of interceptions a game. Amazing how this guy's still a starter.
Well, you look at the Cardinals right now, their O-line has been decimated by injuries and trades. And, of course, Carson Palmer isn't the quarterback that he once was 8-9 years ago when he was with the Bengals. But you're right, though. Carson Palmer has made some questionable throws in this football game. And, look, I know Bruce Arians had a lot of confidence when he acquired Carson Palmer back in April, but there's no doubt, though, that he is not the right fit for the scheme here. And I believe the Cardinals will go into the NFL draft next May and select a quarterback. Whereas with the Niners, same scenario will come up with this football team. I know Colin Kaepernick has developed a rapport with Vernon Davis, but the question with Colin Kaepernick moving ahead here, can he get to his second and third reads of a play? Because it's obvious that he's not comfortable going to that level yet, and that's why we're seeing him make either a completion to Vernon Davis or he'll bail out of the pocket to get a couple yards on the run.
Wow, look at this. Update in Denver. The Broncos about to punt from their own end. A fake punt and a running play which yields them about 25 yards. It'll be first down for Peyton Manning and company deep into Jacksonville territory. So just updating everybody out there on all the late stages games right now in the NFL. Amazing stuff there. Mo, before we let you go, big game obviously tonight in Big D as Washington takes on the Dallas Cowboys. You got a pick?
Yeah, I got the Cowboys in this football game. The defense has to play well, though, and that's the one knocking the Cowboys' defense. As much as people want to criticize Tony Romo for that late INT last week, it wasn't his fault. You throw 5 touchdown passes, 9 times out of 10, you should win that football game, and that is not what they did last weekend against Denver. So really, I expect this Cowboy defense to play a lot better and continue to rob Griffin III. If they can get some early and often and hit him at every possible moment that they can get to him, then that might bode well for them to win this football game. And that's why with that Cowboy offense, they're very dynamic, playing a decent Redskin defense here. Give me the Cowboys by 8+ points.
Wow. All right. There you go. What are you doing tonight? What are you up to?
I am, I'm going to watch the Cowboy Redskin game, with a buddy of mine, and that's pretty much about it.
Mm-hmm. We've never watched a football game outside the studio before?
What are you talking about? We have watched plenty of football games on Tuesday nights. CFL.
What are you
Alouette
talking?
games.
Yeah, but we've never watched outside the studio, you and I together.
Well, in the main foyer of the new Pacno building.
Oh, get out of here. That's awful. You avoid me, Moe Khan, like the plague. You avoid me.
I don't really avoid you. If I had an option between you and Dave Simon, I'm taking Dave Simon.
Why is Dave nodding? Like it's just an automatic.
Well, Dave's got street cred.
That's true. He's right. I do have a lot of street cred.
I don't even know what we're talking about anymore.
Mo's
All
right.
right. Mo, thank you very much. Appreciate your appearance as always. Not really sure what we gained out of it, but I will see you on. Do we have a show Tuesday? There's a late game.
They play in Winnipeg
Yeah.
I believe at 8:30 or 8 o'clock.
Yeah, so we're probably not on the air on Tuesday.
To be determined.
Yeah. Now I see we play your music going out as well.
Yeah, well, Dave Simon and I are the new British Bulldogs. So we have that 1-2 punch symmetry going on right now.
All right, whatever. Thanks, Mo.
Take care, Matt. Have a good night.